to me, especially to be a part of an organization like this. To me, being on the defensive side of the ball, I know traditionally it's a great defense, and I just can't wait. I still got so many emotions going on, but I just can't wait to be a part of such a historically great defense and historically great team. It was a team I kind of grew up watching a little bit when I first started watching football, so I'm just excited to have this opportunity.
All right, next up, Jerry Dulac, Post-Gazette.
Sorry, there we go. You got me. I saw you dropped a lot of weight since the end of the season. Were you thinking maybe you might be more of a 3-4 outside linebacker, or why did you want to drop the weight?
I just wanted to drop the weight just to get a little bit more healthy. I have the weight back on now. I'm back up in the 280s again, but it was more just of a health thing for me. And we were just doing all the 40 training, speed training, so it kind of just came off from that too. But just eating healthy and stuff like that. I mean, I still am eating healthy, just eating more now so I can put that weight back on. But I'm back up in the 280s again, which is where I feel good. I'll play 280s, 290s, just wherever they want me.
All right, Brooke Pryor, ESPN.
Hey, Isaiah, the Steelers made their first trade in the draft to come up to get you. Did you have any idea that they were so interested in you? And where have they said that they envision you fitting in this defense?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I've just been waiting around. I knew there was interest there. I felt like I had a great coach, great talk with Coach Tomlin a couple weeks ago. So I knew the interest was there, but, I've just been waiting around today just for anything. And then, I'm so excited that it happened to be the Steelers. And then what was the second part of that question? I'm sorry.
Second part is you have played all over the defensive line. Have they said where they envision you? Are you defensive end? Do they want to move you out to edge? What have they kind of hinted at maybe as far as where you'll fit?
I know we've talked about me being, a little bit back up more than what I'm at now, in 280s, 290s. So honestly, wherever they feel like they want me when I get there, I'm comfortable playing any position. I feel like that's what helped me at Wisconsin. I was able to move along the line, inside, outside, 5 tech. But we talked about, getting my weight a little bit back up. And so I'm assuming, D-line, but I'll be ready for anything.
All right, Chris Adamski, Trib.
Hey, Isaiah. 2 quick things. First off, the second H in your name, is there a story behind that at all?
No, there's none.
Okay.
It's just there. Okay,
fair enough. And then I imagine you, unless I'm mistaken, you were a teammate of TJ Watt's for a year. I mean, my true freshman year, TJ was there. Do you remember? I mean, you guys are 4 or 5 years apart, so I don't know how much you interact or not.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we interacted a little bit. Him being an outside backer kind of limited our interactions. I was never really around him, but of course, just being able to watch him practice, kind of see the mindset that he had. The first year that I was there, I was definitely able to learn a lot from him. Even kind of watching from afar and not, being around him during drills and stuff like that. But, I'm excited as can be to be able to work with him on the defense.
Mark Caballi, The Athletic.
Hey, Isaiah, I was just wondering, how much do you look into the pre-draft rankings of some of these services? And did it get a little frustrating, a lot of them having you as basically a priority free agent?
I didn't look too much into it just because, it's really about not where you start, but where you finish. And that's kind of the mentality I had. I know the player that I am, and I know what I can bring to a team. So to me, of course, I wanted to hear my name called, and I was super excited to hear my name called. But for me, it was, getting the opportunity. And luckily, I have the opportunity now. So it's just time to, really show what I can do.
Jeff Hathorn, 93.7.
Hey, Isaiah, you mentioned that you followed the Steelers some when you were younger. What are your thoughts on playing with a guy like Cam Hayward and Stephon Tuitt?
I'm super excited to play with those guys. I know, I'm going to be able to come in and really be a sponge. And, I feel like I'll be able to learn just an amazing amount from those guys. Cam Hayward's someone who I've been watching for a while. He's an incredible D lineman and definitely someone who I'm super excited to learn from.
Chris Carter, DK.
Hey, Isaiah, congratulations. You had about 7.5 sacks in your time in Wisconsin, getting after the quarterback a little bit. I wanted to ask you about your perspective of coming into a team that's led the NFL in sacks for 4 straight years. What kind of things have you seen that you want to improve on to help get after the quarterback?
Mm-hmm. I mean, definitely I want to improve on pretty much everything when it comes to that. I felt like I left a little bit out on the table. My last couple years, pass rush wise, there's definitely a lot that I can still learn, but I think there's a lot that I can bring. I feel like I have the tools to be able to be a great pass rusher, but the stats really didn't show that. But I'm excited to learn from the guys. I know coming into this system, they'll be able to teach me a lot, and I'm coming in as a sponge, so we'll just see how much I'll be able to learn from them dudes.
All right, last 3 questions. Joe Rudder, Trib.
Hey, Isaiah, have you always played with your hand on the ground, or have you, done any standing up while on defense?
I mean, ever since college, it's always been hand in the ground, but I played middle linebacker in high school, but it was 8-man football, so it was kind of a different type of football. So being able to be a middle linebacker senior year of high school was fun. But ever since then, I've had my hand in the dirt, and I've loved it.
Noah Strackbean, Sports Illustrated.
Hey, Isaiah, congratulations. Everyone kind of took all my questions as we went through here, but we'll stick with the pass rush. Have you done anything this offseason or through this process to kind of improve on what you feel you've left on the table?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I've been working like crazy this offseason, just to be able to improve, primary moves, secondary moves, pretty much just anything that I can learn. When I was in California training for the pro day, I was with Coach Ed, and just with being with him for a month or two, I learned an extraordinary amount, new techniques and stuff like that. So this offseason, I feel like I've definitely taken a big step forward in that.
We'll wrap it up with Brian Bacco.
Hey, Isaiah, hope I'm not putting you on the spot here, but I know you guys played Illinois the past couple of years. Do you know much about Kendrick Green, whom the Steelers also just picked in the 3rd round? I don't know if you would have been playing center or guard against you guys, but I believe he was number 53 and is now your teammate. Yeah.
I can't remember where he was playing against us, but I do remember watching him on film. Definitely a great player. And, him being a teammate now, I can't wait to get to know him. I can't wait to compete against him too, with him being on the other side of the ball. But, I'm just excited to meet all my new teammates, and just kind of see where it goes. But I mean, the excitement for me is just incredible right now. I just don't know how to explain it.
All right, Isaiah, I really appreciate it. You are good to go. I'll reach out.
Karl Dunbar here. We'll just open it up for questions on our 5th round selection, Isaiah Loudermilk. So if you guys can go ahead, hit your raise your hand function, and we'll get started. And we'll get underway with Noah Strackby. Noah?
Hey, Karl. There's a lot of talk right now about whether Isaiah is going to play on the edge or on the defensive line. Where do you guys envision him?
Well, Isaiah's a defensive lineman. And when I say defensive line, he's going to play everything from a 5 technique to a 0 nose.
All right, let's move on to Joe Rutter. Joe?
Yeah, Karl, what did you see from him at Wisconsin that made him an intriguing prospect for you guys?
I think he fits the mold for what we want to do here in Pittsburgh. You know, he's a big, strapping young man, and I know he lost some weight to do his pro days, but around about 285, 290, he can play a 4-eye. He can move down over the guards when we go in our sub package, and he can push the middle of the pocket. I mean, and to get a kid with this kind of size and this kind of height in the 5th round, I think it's a really good get for the Steelers.
Brian Vacco.
Yeah, Karl, I think this is the 3rd straight draft you guys have taken a defensive lineman. Chris and Tyson are back as well, and I didn't even mention Cam and Stephon. Just how wide open, I guess, is the competition in your room right now to not just make the roster but get some time?
Well, I think, I come from the South, and, they say defensive linemen are just like pretty women. There's not a lot of them, but everybody wants them. And when you find a big guy like that and you want to get him on your team, I think that's the thing you do. And Mike T and Kevin Colbert did a good job of getting us some talent.
Let's move on to Mark Caboli. Mark?
I don't know how I'm going to follow that up, but Karl, for you guys to move back into the 5th round to get Isaiah, you must really like him. Was there any table banging on your part to get back in, or what was the scene like when you knew he was still around?
No, with the COVID protocol, I was sitting in my office and didn't have my mic on. So I think Coach Tomlin and Coach Colbert, they did a good job of really scouting, and the scouts did a great job of evaluating the talent. And we didn't have a pick in the 5th round, and we kind of figured he wouldn't be there in the 6th. So they made the move, and I'm glad they did.
Christopher Carter.
Hey, Karl. One thing Isaiah talked about was his versatility and how he played at all these different spots in the defensive line. You talked about his size and what you liked about that. How much did you see of his tape that you said, man, I can use this guy in all these different ways that got you excited to get a guy like this?
And I think that's what it was all about. His versatility really helped him, get picked for this team. And the only bad thing about him, he's going to come here and he won't be able to wear number 97.
We'll go to Brooke Pryor, ESPN.
Yeah, hey, Karl, how much had you guys communicated with Isaiah throughout the draft process? I mean, was there a high level of interest that you guys were letting him know, hey, we want you, whether we have to trade up to get you or not?
No, I don't think those conversations go on with any kid because these kids don't know where they're going to get drafted, and we really don't know how they're going to get slotted on draft weekend. But I maybe spoke to about 40 or 50 defensive linemen, because we didn't have the combine, and we had certain pro days that we could go to, and only 3 members from each team could go. So I did a lot of Zooming and a lot of talking to kids on the phone just to get acclimated and to find out, a little bit about the kids. And he was one of the young men I spoke to, so it worked out great.
Chris Adamski.
Hey, Karl. Your 3 starting defensive linemen, as good as they are 32, 28, and 34 years old. Is there a plan or a desire to lessen their snaps and part of from some of the younger guys, hoping they step up and play them more if they show they can, or do you, the philosophy of ride them as much as they can play?
Well, I think it's a little bit of both. If you got young guys who can step up and play, you put them on the field, or if not, those older guys have to play. And I think, Tyson, Cam, Tuitt, they do a really good job of taking care of their bodies and playing well. And, Isaiah Buggs, Carlos Davis, Henry Mondu, all those young guys, you know, they're backing up for a reason, and they're trying to give us quality reps. So I think the more competition we can get in that room, the better it'd be for everybody, because you like your guys fresh, especially playing 17